yesterday, and before tonight's game, Celtics President of Basketball Operations Danny Ainge was asked what the Celtics may be looking for as far as a buyout.
Well, we need two-way players. I mean, it's hard to just put players in that can just play one way. Although, like I said, Greg Monroe fills a need for us. I felt like we needed size and experience, going in for the rest of the season and through the playoffs. But as we stand right now, I don't think there's a big hole for us. So we'll look for a good player that maybe is better than what we have.
All right, Danny Ainge wants two-way players. That makes sense. He's got a good defensive team. Let's start with the Celtics. What would you like to see them do? Was there a player on that list or a player you think might be available that would make sense for them?
I think a player that makes sense for them is a player like Joe Johnson. He has playoff experience. He has good size. Being about 6'8", he can handle, defend, and shoot the ball. And if you're talking about a team that's going to try to knock off the Cleveland Cavaliers and possibly match up with Golden State later on in the NBA Finals, you need as many guys that are two-way players that can do multiple things as possible. The way to beat Golden State is you have to match up with them physically. You have to have the guys between 6'6" to 6'10" to do multiple things. Joe Johnson's one of those guys.
Also began his career with the Boston Celtics way back when. Of course, the C's have already done a buyout with Greg Monroe making his debut the other night.
What about Cleveland? Can we talk about them for a second?
We can. They sent out 6. They only brought back 4. So, yes.
They have 2 spots that they can fill.
Mm-hmm.
And they are small. They don't have enough big guys. Love is out, for a total of 8 weeks with the broken hand. And even when Love comes back, he's not a real leaper, and he's not that big. Tristan Thompson is an undersized center for them. They could use a big guy. And I saw one name up there, Brook Lopez. That would be kind of interesting if he were bought out. Would Cleveland, you think, be interested in bringing him in?
I'm not sure if they'd be interested in bringing him in because when you think big picture, Brook Lopez will get exploited in the pick and roll game. That's what a lot of teams want to do is they want to put him in every screen in the world. When you're talking about going up against Boston with Kyrie Irving, when you're talking about the Golden State Warriors, there's not a lot of room on the court to have Brook Lopez and a guy like Kevin Love. Then teams just pick their poison. Hey, which guy do we want to highlight in the pick and roll? So I think it would be very tough for them to bring him in. They might want to just bring in a guy, a physical bruiser, a guy that can once again be a good locker room guy. Kendrick Perkins, he's been in the G League all year long, working out with their G League team. He actually sent out a tweet yesterday saying that he was back and then deleted it. So maybe they're in talks with him. But I think a guy like that, a guy that gives you a strong presence, can give you, maybe 3 to 4 good minutes here and there, give you an occasional hard foul, be a good locker room presence. That might be a guy they're looking to bring in.
And Perkins is one of the few guys that will say what's on his mind, regardless of who it's to.
Oh, part of that locker room culture that Kobe Altman was talking about.
Kendrick Perkins will give you the truth whether you want to hear it or not. And sometimes that's perfect for a guy like LeBron James. You need a guy that can tell you when, hey, it's your fault too. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not, no one's perfect. And sometimes, when you're the best player, you need guys that can tell you the tough things. And Kendrick Perkins is one of those guys.
How about Marco Bellinelli? He and the Hawks have reached an agreement on a buyout. He would make sense for a lot of teams. I know the Oklahoma City Thunder reportedly are a team interested in Bellinelli. Where do you see him making sense?
Well, he'd be terrific with them because of their loss with Roberson for the rest of the year. But, Boston could use him also, another shooter for the Celtics.
What about Golden State?
What about San Antonio?
Yeah,
played there before.
Marco Bellinelli actually fits with every team that's trying to make a championship run because, he's a guy who has pretty good size on him. He can make a shot. And so, a team like Golden State's looking for a little bit more shooting. He could fit in with them. He could fit in with the Spurs, the Cavaliers, anybody we want to talk about, especially OKC. Robertson being gone, they need somebody, whether it's a Bellinelli or whether it's Tony Allen. Like whoever it is, they need that type of player. So, Bellinelli, he's going to have his choice because a lot of teams are coming after him, and he can fit in anywhere.
Interesting. Tony Allen, OKC, or Marco Bellinelli, two
very different
guys,
players.
Yeah.
But, Tony Allen kind of fits that role that Robertson had with the team. Where he was the defensive guy that you don't really want shooting the ball, but, he's a very good defensive player.
Right.